If you're a new mom who recently had a baby, congratulations. If you were active before pregnancy or during pregnancy, you may, like me, be asking the question, when can I get back to exercise after having a baby? Do I have to wait until my 6-week appointment where I get clearance to exercise from my OB? So today, I want to show you some answers to the questions that I had during those first 6 weeks, like what your 6-week OB clearance actually means, why waiting for your 6-week appointment alone will not help your body to heal. My toddler's having a great time. And 3 exercises you can start doing now to help heal your body and prepare for strength after your 6-week appointment. If you're new here, hey, I'm Laura Lindahl. I'm an exercise physiologist, pre and postnatal strength coach, and I help active Christian moms go from exhausted to energized so that they can end the day as peaceful, strong, and present women. So let's start with what clearance at your 6-week OB appointment actually means. Your OB is checking to see that your body has closed its wounds and avoided complications. Essentially, they want to make sure that you aren't going to be dying. They're asking, is the uterus shrinking? Is bleeding resolving? Is the incision or tearing healing? And is infection present? They are not asking, can this woman generate pressure effectively? Can her pelvic floor support impact? Or can her deep core stabilize her spine? So when you hear at your 6-week appointment that you are cleared, it means that you are medically stable. It does not mean that your core and pelvic floor are ready for load and extra stress. And let's be honest, after having a baby, your body feels just kind of weird. Maybe you would, like me, say that you feel really disconnected from your body. Maybe you do feel weak. Maybe you have some anemia that makes you feel hollow, and you're hoping that exercise will help you to feel like yourself again. Well, in many ways that is true. There are several changes that happen throughout pregnancy that we need to address before we can talk about what exercises are best to do. So during pregnancy, there are several really important changes physiologically that are happening that we need to know about. During pregnancy, our diaphragm shifts to allow the uterus to grow. By our diaphragm shifting, that will change the pressures that our body experiences in our pelvic floor. Our rib cage also flares up to allow room for the growing baby. Your abs lengthen to expand so that your uterus can grow and baby has room to develop. Your pelvic floor, as you probably know, goes through much stretching over the course of 9 months to support the baby like a little hammock. And then finally, your nervous system is in protect the baby mode. Everything from your metabolism to mucus development to your immune system all are geared towards protecting the baby. So postpartum, your body doesn't need strength, it needs reconnection. And that's exactly why in that first 6-week window, it's so important to choose exercises that help you to reconnect to your core, to start to establish some better breathing patterns and better pressure management so that your body stops bracing and starts learning to trust itself again. That is exactly what creates healing. So now that you know the specific changes that happen during pregnancy and maybe why you're feeling so disconnected from your body postpartum, let's talk about 3 specific exercises that you can start to do today that will help you to start feeling more like yourself again, reconnect to your core without putting any extra pressure on your pelvic floor before your 6-week checkup. Your first exercise that you can do before your 6-week OB checkup is to do the core connection breath. It's so simple, yet it's the foundation of all core strength. Let's do it together. Lie down on your back and place the pillow underneath your hips so that your hips are fully supported. This takes all of the pressure off of your pelvis so that your pelvic floor can fully relax and contract. Here's how to do the core connection breath. You'll place your hands on your belly, and for a count of 4, inhale through your nose, letting your belly rise. At the top of your inhale, you want to imagine your vagina opening like a flower or opening like a tissue laying flat on a table. You'll hold the top of your inhale for 2 seconds, and then begin to exhale for 4 seconds. At the end of the exhale, imagine pulling a tissue up and out of the box. with your vagina at the end of your exhale. Hold it for 2 seconds gently, and then start to inhale again for 4 seconds. At the top of your inhale, you'll open the flower. At the bottom of your exhale, you'll pull the tissue up and out of the box. Kind of like this. When you inhale, your pelvic floor relaxes, and when you exhale, your pelvic floor gently rises and lifts. This is the foundation of connecting your breath to your core work. You can start by doing this exercise lying on your back and then gradually work to positions such as side lying or quadruped. Once you're able to feel your core relaxing and gently contracting with your breath, it's time to move on to the second exercise, which is your posterior pelvic tilt. To do your posterior pelvic tilt, you'll put one hand underneath your low back and one hand on your belly in a bent knee position. From here, you'll take a big belly breath in, letting your pelvic floor relax. And on the exhale, you'll tilt your pelvis, pull your belly button up and in, and flatten your low back to the floor as you pull the tissue up and out of the box. Here, we're combining that core connection breath now with a deep core engagement. You'll hold by pressing your low back flat to the ground and holding your vaginal contraction for 2 seconds, and then inhale again. It's equally as important to inhale and relax your pelvic floor as it is to exhale and contract. So be assured to take as much time as you need between reps to pause and feel your pelvic floor relax. The posterior pelvic tilt teaches your deep core and breath to contract together so that you can manage pressure and engage your core with daily activities. Last but definitely not least is the glute bridge, and this brings it all together. To perform the glute bridge, you'll lie down on your back and you'll start with your core connection breath. Taking a big belly breath, inhale, you'll let your belly rise, relaxing your pelvic floor. You'll exhale, pull the tissue up and out of the box, press your low back down into the floor, squeeze your glutes, and drive through your heels as you press your hips up. You'll pull your belly button up and in at the top, making sure not to hyperextend, staying connected to our deep core, and then you'll lower back down, inhaling and unrolling your pelvic floor at the bottom. Let your pelvic floor relax between breaths. If you need to take a couple breath cycles, that's okay. It's more important that we get that full relaxation and we don't start to create patterns of holding extra tension in our pelvic floor. Those deep belly breath inhales are key. You should feel this working in the glutes and in the deep core. Once you bring your hips back down to the bottom, you relax, inhale, and let your pelvic floor relax. When you build these 3 exercises together, it changes everything. You start to connect your core to your breath, and that can improve leaking symptoms. It can improve low back pain. It can help your stomach to feel reconnected to your core, and movement starts to feel natural again. This is how you build a foundation for strength that won't result in setbacks in the future when you do start to lift heavy again and get back to your normal activities that you love. And before I go, I want to leave you with one word of encouragement. If you are the mom who just had a baby and you're in those initial 6 weeks, know that your body just did a miraculous thing. These exercises are gentle enough to do before bed, and they don't require any equipment. They can be done in as little as 5 minutes. But please don't stress yourself out if you don't do them every single day. Remember, even something is better than nothing when it comes to reconnecting your core. Before bed or first thing in the morning, when you have a few quiet minutes to yourself, put on your own oxygen mask and take care of your core before you get into serving mode with your kids and family. If you learned something new today, leave a comment below and let me know which part of those exercises you'll be starting to do today. And if you're an active Christian woman who wants to go from exhausted to empowered and energized in a way that honors both your body and your season of life, then get on the wait list for Healthy Holy Motherhood, my new 8-week live training course for moms that's launching this spring. And remember, you don't have to rush healing. You get to restore it layer by layer. Thank you for watching.